Hello and welcome. Today we're making a supreme pizza styled sub sandwich in the air fryer. This is super easy and works with pretty much any ingredients you would use for regular pizza. I will have some suggestions on other topping ideas and how to get a bit more flavor from things as we make the sandwich, but first let's look at what ingredients we'll be using today. For the version I am making today, this is what you will need. 1 sandwich roll per person, pizza sauce, store-bought or homemade will do. There will be a link in the description if you want to make your own for the recipe I use. Thin sliced pepperoni, crumbled Italian sausage, medium diced onions, sliced red bell pepper strips, sliced and rinsed mushrooms, and shredded cheese of your choice. Some small notes on our ingredients today. So, let's talk about bread for a moment. For this type of sandwich, 2 types of rolls I have found work really well. Both being sandwich type of rolls sounds like a duh moment in a video about sandwiches, but the why these types of rolls work is what you need. For this type of sandwich, if the roll's interior is too firm, your toppings will actually get pushed out or roll out while you're biting, and that makes it a little bit annoying to eat. So if possible, try to find rolls that are made to be sandwich or get softer rolls where the interior is nice and soft. When you are cutting your roll, for safety I recommend cutting it like I'm doing here. We make a small cut while it's in the hand and then finish it on the cutting board. This is to minimize the amount of time we're pointing a sharp knife at ourselves. We do not like that. And that's always for the best in the kitchen. We want to cut about 85 to 90% of the way through the roll, leaving enough bread to hold the sides, that side inside together. This will help reduce, ejection ports for ingredients. Now, for the diced onions, I use diced here because sometimes softened onions can be hard to fully bite through, and that reduces the chances of pulling a bunch of toppings out while you bite, but either sliced or diced if you want to do it that way are fine. And finally, for the mushrooms, you're going to want them sliced and rinsed. You can buy pre-sliced to save a bit of time, but do make sure that you rinse them off, as some of them can still have debris or dirt in the folds of the mushrooms. Pre-sliced will tend to be in odd shapes and sizes, as you see here, but this can be nice in the sandwich because as long as they're not too big, just hitting at different size pieces. For our Italian sausage, we just use caseless sausage and break it up as it browns in the pan. I'm doing this on medium heat. So this is where I think you have the most opportunity to really make this taste great if you're doing this version. So unlike a pizza place, we can really do a nice job browning the sausage and get tons more flavor out of it. I browned this over 30 minutes on medium heat, stirring and slowly breaking it up into smaller pieces, as you see here. I also discovered halfway through that my wooden spatula has a notch in it at the end, which led to some awkward chopping footage. This makes the taste of the Italian sausage kind of condense and come out more, and it's super flavorful and honestly better than you'll get in most pizza places because they don't really have time to brown their Italian sausage. This can also be done in advance and stored in the refrigerator for a day or two before you're making the sandwiches, so if you do it as a pizza party, you can kind of just bring those out at that point. You don't have to brown it as much as I do here. Even just getting it cooked to a light browning, about 10 to 15 minutes or so, will get you about 75% of the taste of what I've got here, but still more than you would typically have in a pizza. As always, I'd like to thank you all for watching, liking, and sharing the videos. It really helps the channel grow, and we appreciate every bit of your support. And if you're not already a subscriber and are enjoying this video, subscribe for more like it, and of course more pictures of our fuzzy little overlords. For construction, starting with your sauce, you're going to want a fairly thin layer. Pizza sauce is fairly flavorful on its own, and to get the right balance between the pizza sauce and the rest of the toppings, we only need a small amount, just like you would in an actual pizza. Next up, for your toppings, we start with the pepperoni and sausage. As long as your pepperoni slices are thin, you can overlap like we're doing here. If your pepperoni is thicker, you do not want to overlap since it'll likely pull all of the toppings of the sandwich out all at once. Sausage, a few evenly spaced pieces. Because of the intenseness of flavor, we don't need to use a huge amount. And once that's on, we're ready for the veggies. And finally, the onions, peppers, and mushrooms in that order next. I overload these two because both me and my fiance like the veggies on the heavy side, but you'll probably want a little bit less veggies to make the sandwich stay together a little bit better and not have as many things fall out. Once that's ready, off to your air fryer for 5 minutes at 400 degrees. If your air fryer has shelves, use the lowest one. So while that cooks, let's talk about topping ideas and why we do not put cheese on it yet. If you wait till right after it leaves the toaster oven, the heat from the sub will actually partially melt the cheese, giving you a mix of solid pieces of cheese and melted cheese, which will give it a little bit nicer of a texture sometimes. You can add it before the toaster oven for a more melty sandwich though. You can do this type of pizza anyway, you just need the toppings for whatever your favorite type of pizza is. and some rolls, and you're set. I like ham, crumbled bacon, and black olives for sometimes when I don't want pepperoni. Another one, which I always liked, is green olives, red bell peppers, onions, and grilled chicken. Makes a really, really nice pizza. Once we are out of the air fryer, then we just need to top it with our cheese, and that will begin to melt from the residual heat. Give it just a few more minutes, because it does get very hot, so I would give it about 5 minutes to cool before you eat it. That'll also help the melting happen. And so with that, we have made a super easy and, depending on the topping selection, fairly quick sandwich that packs a huge amount of flavor. It's super easy to put together, and it makes a great framework. You can have something like a pizza party where each person comes over, does their own toppings, and customizes their pizza sub for the way they like it. And that's always a nice thing when you're kind of hanging out with everybody, that you get exactly what you want. So, as always, thank you all for watching, and I hope you have a great day and a great meal.